iciest place on Earth. And it's the only continent on Earth that can't naturally support grasslands. Whoa. Human corpses can continue to move for more than a year after death. The thought of a body moving after a person has died sounds like something out of a horror movie, but it may just be a natural phenomenon. Whoa. What we found was that the arms were significantly moving, so that the arms started off down beside the body and ended up to one side, ended up out to the side of the body. Whoa. Eggshells are being used to grow new human bones. Whoa. Chicken eggshells are mostly made up of calcium carbonate, a substance that also exists in human bones. There's a chapel in Spain that's inside of a volcano. If you want to visit the Santa Margarita de Sacote Chapel, you won't just have to head to northeastern Spain. You'll also have to trek down into a crater that sits inside of a 2,238-foot volcano. The site is still home to a tiny Romanesque-style stone building that features a single nave and steeple bell. The word friends is said in every episode of the show Friends. That's hilarious. If you're observant, you might notice that the word friends is said in every single one of the 236 episodes of the show, according to the Cosmopolitan. In northeastern territories, Canada, some car license plates are shaped like a polar bear. That is so cute. Honey does not spoil. You could feasibly eat 3,000-year-old honey. Whoa, that's cool. A small percentage of the static you see on TV stations is leftover radiation from the Big Bang. You're seeing residual effects of the Earth's creation. When we breathe through our nose, we always inhale more air from one nostril than the other, and this changes every 15 minutes. If you were to remove all of the empty space from the atoms that make up every human on Earth, the entire world population can fit into one apple. Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It doesn't really go into any more detail than that. If you somehow found a way to extract all of the gold from the bubbling core of our lovely little planet, you would be able to cover all of the land in a layer of gold up to your knees. What? So we can all be rich? No, just kidding. A truck dumps 5-cent coins in the center of the Federal Square during an event organized by the Committee for the Initiative CHF 2,500 Monthly for Everyone in Bern, October 4th, 2013. I'm not sure where Bern is, but that's pretty cool. It would take 1,200,000 mosquitoes each sucking once to completely drain the average human body. It can take a photon 40,000 years to travel from the core of the sun to the surface, but only 8 minutes to travel the rest of the way to Earth. Anything that melts can be made into glass. You just have to cool it off. You just have to cool off a molten material before its molecules have time to realign into what they were before being melted. Sheep can recognize people's faces even in photos. There's a city that consists of 72 tons of diamonds. They are in the walls, melted together with the building's materials. Whoa, that's pretty cool. it goes to show, like, even the most positive people, they have, negative thoughts. And I mean, anybody, like, that's, whoa. I feel like we need to be kinder to ourselves. Really do. Give ourselves more grace, and not to be so hard on yourself. So Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. were born in the same year. I highly suggest that you search them up and, really learn about them, because if you're in school, you probably will learn about these two in history. So yeah, the two, they were, both involved in very significant events in history, and the events seem so far apart. Canadians live in South Seattle. Whoa. That makes sense. At 45 degrees latitude, Seattle is farther north than Toronto and Montreal, meaning that 64% of Canadians live in South Seattle. There is a species of jellyfish that is immortal. Scientists have discovered that the Platypus dorini jellyfish can revert back to its juvenile blob stage after maturing, continuing in an endless cycle, making it the only known officially immortal creature. It's totally legal to escape from prison in Mexico. Several countries, Mexico, Germany, and Austria, see the desire to escape prison as a basic human nature rather than an unlawful act. Consequently, a prison break isn't considered to be a crime itself, but before you started masterminding the perfect escape plan, know that they'll still try to catch you, and you may be punished for any criminal act you commit during or after escape. Eventually, a day on Earth will be 25 hours long, and that is because the Earth's speed as it orbits the sun is not at a fixed rate. No matter how consistent it may seem to us, it's actually slowing over time. In about 175 million years, it will become 25 hours a day. A strawberry isn't actually a berry, but a watermelon is. Like raspberries, strawberries, and blackberries aren't true berries. The scientific definition of a berry is a plant that has 3 distinct layers: the outer layer, a fleshy middle, and internally contain seeds. So because their seeds are on the outside, all those berries aren't actually berries. However, watermelons, bananas, grapes, and eggplants are technically berries. One of the most painful stings known to mankind is from the platypus. Many people think cuddling this adorable cross between a duck and an otter would be fun, but this platypus has poison glands in its hind legs and can release the venom using a hollow spur on its heel. While not incredibly deadly, the sting is said to be painful and cause a large amount of swelling. The city of London only has a population of 9,000. London may be one of the largest cities in the world, but when it comes to actual people, there's only 9,000 residents in the city of London. The city is a small area surrounded by Greater London region, which has 8.1 million people. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the galaxy. There are about 3 trillion trees on Earth, but only 300 to 4 billion stars in the Milky Way. Space is big, but relatively empty, it turns out. Well, and I know that having trees gives us oxygen, so that's really good to know, because I always see like all these collapses when shaken.